Hey everyone, welcome to Dama Scaling YouTube channel. I'm your host Eddie Wang, and we have my alternate character main today, and I'm talking about Sogetsu Kazama, which is the older brother of Kazuki Kazama. And lore wise, this is another character that is filled out with lore, and as I said previously on the story, that Kazuki went down the Kazama mountain to defeat a fiery demon named Anja. Sogetsu was tasked with a different mission where he came down the mountain of the Kazama village to defeat a water demon named Suija, which he then encounters that demon, and with the help of his sister Hazuki, he actually seals the demon on his sword, which he then named Seiryu, which means blue dragon. And Sogetsu is a character that switches swords a lot through the games, and it's kind of weird because he is the character that switches the most swords in the game. Sometimes he is with a ninjato like Kazuki, sometimes he is with a tachi, and sometimes he also switches out to different models, to a ninjato, a much shorter tanto, and a wakizashi per se, and other character that actually switches swords but not as much is Wanfu, which sometimes carries a stone and sometimes carries a katana. But Sogetsu is the character that switches the most swords in the game. Sometimes he is, like I said, uses a ninjato, sometimes uses a tachi, sometimes uses a wakizashi, and it's insane how often he switches the sword. But the name of the sword is always the same. It's always Seiryu, which means blue dragon, while Kazuki means Suzaku, which is that beard that never dies. Right, so he is the very opposite of Kazuki, which is a rush down character with combos, and Sogetsu is a footsie character, and his walk speed is very slow, as you guys are seeing. He's not even to the same point, but he is also a ninja, and he has like some really decent movement. He can also jump off the walls, but this character, do not mistake yourself, he is a space control character. He has some bubbles that he can place on screen to prevent you to come in, and he can place this anywhere on screen. As you guys can see, he cannot place more than once, he can only place one, and they don't last as much, but he can actually control when he places if he holds the button, and you're gonna have a lot of leeway to press depending on the button that you are going to use with, and you can even make it go like full screen, just to really troll the opponent, and then you can start using your pillars. He also controls space with water pillars, and there is only 3 versions of this one, and this one. And he also has a teleport, which allows him to get closer or to run away or to go behind you. Nothing personal, kid. And then he can actually connect some things. His normals, just like Kazuki, are slightly better. I believe he is the ninja with the most good normals in the game, but this one big is a very risky move to use. It doesn't go full screen, but it's almost full screen, so meaning that if he is around here, he can actually slash other people's like from almost full screen. So whiffing against Sogetsu is a terrible idea. His low slash also has insane ranges. The samurai showdown to Ukyo range, because it seems to be using the sword by extending it to the limit to make the slash like so scary. So he can, for example, slash you from this distance that you guys are seeing. It's really insane how this character can slash others real easy, and so you're gonna have to be really careful how you whiff against Sogetsu, because in this particular reason he is very similar to what Ukyo was in Samurai Showdown 2. When it comes down to the reach of a low slash, it's very dangerous to whiff against Sogetsu because of the low slash. He also has this move right here, which is, some people call it pillar, I just call it water geyser, and they also have spawn timings. But he has a huge problem, considering that he is not really a combo character. He can actually connect some things. For example, if he connects you with if he connects like a bubble, he can actually connect. He can connect some of the moves when the bubble connects on a really good recovery, as you guys can see. But it's not something that always happens, so he has to set up, and sometimes the setup is made with this, so he can put you between him and the ball, but the ball doesn't stay on screen for long. His medium slash allows him to combo into geyser, but is one of the hardest combos to come by, because sometimes the reach is far and you're gonna have to use the medium rate geyser, and when up close you're gonna have the smaller one. When you connect from the air, it's harder to connect a combo, but it's possible. It's just really difficult to do this as a combo, and it has to be the lowest possible, and even then if it doesn't connect, it's also going to alter how the combo works, like mid screen, and many people use the mid to do that, and even then it's still difficult to do combos with him. Sometimes you want to connect and it doesn't reach like a combo, so you're gonna have to use the small version. And as you guys can see, his jump arc is really just insane. It's floaty. Actually, he jumps higher than most characters. He lacks anti-airs, so he has to use pillars, or he has to jump with a strong slash, which is very similar to how powerful Ukkyu's strong slash used to be. So his jump slash is very, and he still has the pillars for anti-air against people that usually jumps with a kick, which is faster than a slash per se. But Sogetsu is a very strong character. He is a dick story-wise. He is a complete idiot. He's something that I believe it came down with the Suija factor, because Sogetsu also draws powers from the swords. He's a hydrokinesis ninja, right? He uses Suiton, but Sogetsu is already he suppresses his feelings. He has a stoic personality, but whenever he is fighting, he is indeed annoying. For example, I can consider Kazuki like a dumb character, because he is always hot-headed and runs toward things head first and think later. And while Sogetsu is more methodical and careful thinking, more intelligent per se, but he is a complete ass, because he always talks down to people. He is always thinks little of others, but has been later justified that is due to the fact that he carries the Suija genes on the sword, right? The sword actually influences him a little bit, so he became a little bit of a dick on this aspect. But make no mistake, this is one of the coolest characters in the Samurai Showdown series. He is easily Jin Kazama factor, in my opinion, and he is a very cool character to play. While he's not really combo heavy, his medium slash is actually good to keep the game going. It's just the range that is really not as much, but he really has one of the strongest big slashes in the game, despite being unsafe. And his power, for example, this one is a move that you can connect from the medium, and you can also use this up close. It's just that doesn't have running mids like Kazuki has, because he has an overhead, so he cannot combo from it. But it's really just a risky option to keep people on check, but he still has like this option right here. If people are trying to duck under his stuff, then he can grab and use like the mid for like for a more scary version. You guys are seeing this right now. Kazuki's sword is actually shaking on the ground. That is actually Ensha trying to come out of the sword, because it sealed it there. And that's pretty much it. This SSM is actually a projectile, and it's very bloody and can actually taint the screen with a lot of blood, and he throws Saken in it and does a lot of damage. It's one of the most damaging SSMs in the game. Not as damaging as Kazuki, but still really good, and it's just really not as much practical as the others, so you're gonna have to use that from a reversal. instead of using like Kazuki uses for anti-air. He's not, and Aomaru also uses as anti-air, but this guy has to use reversals in order to use his SSM. And that is for Kazuki. Hope you guys enjoy it. Sorry, and just really hoping that someday we get a third Kazama ninja, and that has to be their sister Hazuki, because she is one of the most powerful characters in history, not only being able to actually seal demons in these two swords, but she also was kidnapped by Amakusa to power herself up, and she always finds herself in a lot of conflicts, but she is one of the most kindest characters in the game, easily, despite being extremely powerful. But this is the video for today. Hope you guys enjoy it, and see you guys real soon.